Welcome to our channel, my dear students. Today we are going to talk about the very important topic, that is balancing the redox reaction if the reaction is conducted in acidic environment. Okay, so we have to do the balancing in a very easiest manner by the way of using some simple steps. Let's discuss what are all the steps which are used to balance the equation. So the step number one, you have to understand you have to divide this equation into two halves. You have to split the equation into two halves. Why we have to split the equation into two halves? Because this is called redox reaction. The redox means, what is that? Both oxidation as well as reduction taking place simultaneously. That reaction is called redox reaction. Are you able to understand? That's what I have to split the equation. For our convenience, we have to split the equation into two halves. One is oxidation half, another one is reduction half. Okay. Initially, for that, the step number two is what? That is the balance the electrons on both the sides. So if I am taking oxidation part, oxidation equation, oxidation half, so I have to balance the electrons on both the sides. First of all, that's the second step. Okay, for the reduction of also same we have to do. And if there is any other atoms are there, we have to balance it. Okay, so after the balancing of electron, you just balance if there is any other atoms present in that. Okay, and finally we have to do the balancing of oxygen. If you want to balance the oxygen, you have to add the equal number of water molecule in the opposite direction. Okay, suppose if I am having a reactant, I have 4 oxygen atoms are there. That time you have to add 4 water molecule in the product side. Okay, let us discuss with an example. You will be getting clear idea. So here the next step is to balance the hydrogen. If you want to balance the hydrogen, you have to add a H plus in the opposite direction. The same thing. What we added oxygen, likewise oxygen to water and then hydrogen to H plus. Okay. Suppose in reactant side, if I am having 2 oxygen, I have to add 2 water molecule. In product side, I have 2 H plus, I have to add 2 hydrogen. If I had 2 hydrogen, I add 2 H plus. Okay. According to that, we have to follow the simple steps. If I follow the simple steps, okay, so you'll be getting oxidation of reaction and reduction of balanced equation. Before that, balancing both the reactions. Okay, so here if you use the simple steps, you can be able to solve the oxidation. You have to balance the oxidation half as well as reduction half. Okay, so if you balance oxidation half and reduction half, before adding these two half reactions, you have to balance electrons in both the reactions. Okay, so before that we balanced in reactants and in product side. Now we are balancing the electrons in two half reactions. One is oxidation half and another is reduction half. If you do this, you will be getting a balanced equation. Are you able to understand? It is very, very simple one. Just we are going to talk about with an example. You will get a clear idea. Let's go. And here, this is what the reaction is given to you. You have to balance this equation. Like MnO4 minus and with COO minus, COO minus. This reaction will be taken place in acidic environment. This rule is applicable, these steps are applicable for acidic environment. If the redox reaction will be taken place in acidic environment, that time you have to use this steps. Here Mn2 plus is the product, CO2 and water is a product. What is our first step? Our first step is what? Split the equation into two halves. So I have to separate this equation into two halves. One is oxidation step, another one is reduction. In which how to find oxidation, which one is oxidation, which one is undergo oxidized, which one is undergoes reduced, how we can find out? Based on the oxidation number, we can find out. Now let's check with the equal halves. This is the first step, that's the reduction step. So here we have to check the oxidation number of metal. Okay, let's check MnO4 minus ion getting converted into Mn2 plus ion. That is what the reaction is given. The reaction is given to you MnO4 minus ion, Mn2 plus ion. The Mn is getting converted into Mn2 plus. So here we have to find out the oxidation state of Mn. How to check the oxidation state? So as we know that MnO4 minus. So how will you check the oxidation state? I think so you can able to find out the oxidation number of metal. So here the overall charge. What about the charge of what about the overall charge? Total charge is -1. Okay, and that is equal to. So what about that? We have to find out the oxidation state of this manganese. So that will be taken as X. That will be taken as X. And for one oxygen it is -2. It's the oxidation state -2. Here we have 4 oxygen is there. So totally 4 into 2, 8, -8. X minus 8, that is equal to -1. X is equal to +7. Are you able to understand? Are you able to understand, students? Here the oxidation state of manganese is 7 plus. Are you able to understand? So here the oxidation state of Mn from 7 plus to 2 plus is there. Okay, that is what this reaction is called, reduction reaction. What does it mean by reduction reaction? There will be an acceptance of electrons. How many electrons are accepted? Our first step. What is our first step? We have to balance the electrons on the both the sides. Okay. First we have to balance with the electrons. How many here? Mn 4 plus. Am I right? MnO4 minus will gives Mn2 plus. Am I right? How many electrons? Here 7 plus is there. Here it is 2 plus. So it accepts 5 electrons. Are you able to understand? So we have to add 5 electrons in that. So now equation becomes MnO4 minus plus 5 electrons, that gives Mn2 plus. In both the side the electrons are balanced now. Okay. And next one is, after balancing this, we have to, what about the second step? You just look at. So you balance the equation in electrons and balance other atoms. What is the other atom present here? Manganese. Finally we have to do for oxygen and hydrogen is there. So we have to manganese. One manganese. So equation is balanced now. Okay. And we have to balance for oxygen. How many oxygens are there? 4 oxygen. So if you want to balance the oxygen, how many, what we have to add in the opposite direction? Opposite direction we have to add water. So here 4 oxygen is there. Am I right? So here 4 oxygen is there. MnO4 minus with 5 electrons will gives Mn2 plus 4 water molecule. Are you able to understand? So 4 number of oxygen is there. I add 4 water molecule. Okay. And then what about the next one? To balance hydrogen, you add a H plus in the opposite direction. You just look at how many hydrogens are there. 8 hydrogens. Total 8 hydrogens there. You have to add 8 H plus to the opposite direction. This is the product side. Reactant side you have to add 8 H plus ions. Okay. Let's do. What about the reaction? That is MnO4 minus plus 5 electrons we already balanced. With that, instead of water, 8 H plus ions. 8 H plus ions are added. Here Mn2 plus with 4 H2O. Are you able to understand? Now you can check whether the equation is balanced or not. So here oxidation state of Mn is 7 plus. Just check it down. 7 electrons are there. So 7 plus is there, 2 plus is there. So 5 electron. It is balanced. How many oxygen is there? 4 oxygen is there. 4 oxygen is there. 8 hydrogen is there. 8 H plus is there. So now the equation is balanced. Reduction half. This reaction is called reduction half. And next we go into consider what is that? Oxidation of. Oxidation of in the sense how many COO minus. What is that name of this compound? It's the oxalate ion. The oxalate ion, what do you mean by oxidation? Oxidation is nothing but there will be a loss of electron. Am I right? So here how many electrons are released? Here 2 electrons are coming out. Okay, because 2 minus is there. Here minus is specified. So 2 electrons are coming out. That is what here read oxidation half. Now you have to electrons are balanced. So first rule is electron balance the electrons. That was balanced. And second one is balance other atoms. Let's think how many carbon atom there? 2 carbon atom there. So we have to add 2. Once you added 2, what happened? So 2 carbon, 4 oxygen. Oxygen is also getting balanced. If oxygen is balanced, you no need to go for this step. Are you able to understand? You no need to go for this step. That is that to balance oxygen, you no need to add water, because when you add 2, all this oxygen, carbon, electrons, everything is satisfied. Okay, that is why everything is balanced. Now I got oxidation equation, that is oxidation half, balanced equation. This is called oxidation half. Oxidation half. Are you able to understand, students? The reduction of reaction, that is MnO4 minus with 5 electrons with 8 H plus and Mn2 plus with 4 H2O. Are you able to understand? And we also balance the oxidation of also. Oxidation of, let's write how to write the oxidation of here C2O4. C2O4 2 minus, that is going to give 2 CO2 plus 2 electrons. Okay. Now you can check, we written both the reduction of and oxidation half balanced equation. Now our sixth rule, what is that? The balance electrons in both the reactions, because we have to balance electrons in both the reaction before adding it. Okay, that is our last rule. Okay, before addition of these two half reactions, you have to add, what is that? The electrons. We have to balance the electrons. Now here how many electrons are there? 2 electrons are there. Here how many electrons are there? 5 electrons are there. So this whole equation is multiplied with 5. The entire reduction equation is multiplied with 2. That's what this equation, reduction of the equation becomes like this. That is 2 MnO4 minus plus 10 electrons plus, if we multiplied with 8, 16 H plus are there. Along with that 2 Mn2 plus with 4 into 2, 8 H2O. Are you able to understand? This is what the equation reduction of become like this. Okay. And what about the oxidation of? We have to multiply with 5. That is 5 C2O4 2 minus. That gives how many carbon dioxide? 10 CO2 along with that 10 electrons. The equation is balanced now. Now you can compare the equation. Now we have to balance this equation. It is the entire whole equation. That is, you just look at. So here how to balance this equation now. So here it is 2 MnO4 and then 16H plus 2 Mn2 plus 8 H2O, because 10 electrons are cancelled. Now we can write the reaction. That is 2 MnO4 minus with 5 C2O4 2 minus. The reaction will be taken place in presence of acidic environment. That's what 16H plus is there. Along with that 2 Mn2 plus. With that, how many carbon dioxide? 10 CO2 along with that 8 H2O. This is the overall balanced equation. You have to balance the whatever the equation is given, redox reaction in presence of acidic environment. That time you have to use these kind of steps, simple steps to balance the equation. Thank you so much for watching. Please go forward to others to get benefit, and don't forget to subscribe my channel, and don't forget to put a like to this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.